Okay, I'm about to cry on this one, but let's have some fun. My man Howard Bryant went out there and gave a minute's worth of straight dope. As we know in this country, it was built in racism, and still racism exists. Even if you're a person like me who's never dealt with racism, I ain't ignorant to say that you have not. But please don't try and project on me that I have, which means we are evolving, which means we're heading to a better place. We're just not there yet. You get it? Well, sometimes we sum up our experiences. Sometimes we reflect. Sometimes we look back. Sometimes we do it too much too. God dang, dog, look in the windshield, not the rear view mirror. But this is a moment that I want to really bring up because it tugs at my heartstrings. The black body, the black experience, and how it's been projected and injected into mainstream culture. The body, not necessarily the brain. Listen to Howard talk that talk.
The black athlete is the most important and most influential and most visible black employee this country's ever produced. They're the ones who made it. They're the ones who integrated before the military integrated. Black athletes integrated before schools were integrated in most parts of the country. They integrated before pretty much everything. They're the ones who received entry into white universities, even though there was a very rich and long history of black intellectualism. But it was the ball players who got to go to UCLA and got to go to Kansas and got to go to USF and all of those schools. So while we tell the player to shut up and play, the player is the one who's paving the way, even ahead of the doctors and the lawyers and everybody else. And so what is that? So to me, that was black body over black brain.
Y'all see that sign? Compton to Columbia, huh? I don't get mad often. I get emotional a lot. I'm a crier. But one thing sends me on the highway and the fast track to ire, to anger. It was when someone questions my ability, my admission to Columbia. That gets me. Why does it get me? Not because of who you are and because I'm thin-skinned, because I know how damn hard I had to work just to be in that position. I grew up not knowing what Columbia University was, never heard of Columbia University. Heard of Harvard, heard of Yale, heard of Princeton. That was Bill Cosby on the Cosby Show wearing the sweaters. Other than that, never knew. Didn't know what the Ivy League was. What I did know is that I was a guy who got second place in the spelling bee. I was a guy who was on the academic decathlon team. I was a guy who was in the National Honor Society. I was a guy who was in the California Scholastic Federation. I was a guy who was the national typewriting champion. But I also was a baller. National champion in track and field, national record holder in track and field. I had that balancing act because I focused in on that balance. I really love school. Not the genius that some people think you are if you go to an Ivy League school, not even close. Not the smartest in the room every time either, not even close. But a guy who focused and worked. And that's why I get mad when someone questions it. But then also, because I'm real, say, hey, you mad because that hit dog hollers. Those circumstances, that admission, they may not admit it to you, but maybe you got in because you was a baller too. How dare I say, maybe you got in because you were a baller first. Oh, man. Could have went to the baller schools. I had those offers. I had those opportunities, those letters of intent, those recruiting trips. And I chose to make sure my branding says something different. I wasn't going to be just a dumb jock. And the reason I had to be so overt with it, like go to Columbia, not, go to a good school, damn it. Go to Cal, right? Go to Stanford. Is because I saw Compton. My birth certificate says Compton on it. My upbringing, I lived in Compton every day till I was 5, 6. I was in Compton every single weekend. And I knew what Compton was, good, bad, and ugly. And I was like, man, I don't want the world to think of me like this because I see how they thinking of us. I heard what NWA said to the world. I heard what they received from that. I'm sitting there like, man, the last thing I want is to have to fight uphill every single day in every single way. I don't want conversations where their assumptions are low and then, I want conversations where they're like, wow. But you got to keep it real. What Howard pointed out, with our country's structure, with our country's attributes, and how we were built on racism, do you really think you just got into Columbia because you got that nice little resume, little football player boy? Yeah? Yes. Actually, yes. Y'all don't even give athletic scholarships. What the fuck we talking about, bruh? Y'all don't give scholarships, so how am I up in here talking about I'm a baller at a school that don't even pay you to be a baller? Is that a scheme? Or is that real? It irks me because that actually is the power of racism. Y'all see what I don't have concrete proof. I have suspicion, maybe even to the threshold of reasonable doubt. And that's the power of racism today. Because the power of racism today is, at minimum, it's what I'm going through right now because of what Howard said, because of those conversations that irk me. When people say, you didn't get in Columbia because you so smart, Marcellus. You got in it because you a baller. And let me go a little further. You want to go even further? And you black. They needed that box checked. Ooh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts. Power of racism. Because at minimum, it's that, the boogeyman, just lurking in your head. He's somewhere in here, but I can't see him. You ever watch a scary movie, all of a sudden you hear the house sound different. Every room sound like it's moving. It wasn't moving when you were watching the game. After the game, it don't sound like that. But after Freddy Krueger, after some Jason movies, after seeing Chucky, everything in this house sound like it's moving. And I don't see a damn thing. So the power of racism today, at minimum, it's a boogeyman. But at worst, as I hear you guys in the comments, and a lot of times when you come up to me, Marcellus, all due respect, I know you haven't dealt with racism, but it's real. The power of racism in its realest form now is an evil man who can conspire to make an evil plan against you. And I know it happens. The question is, what happened with me going from Compton to Columbia? That's it. Just got to be real with y'all. Beat it up in the comments. You think I got in? Think I was a DEI before DEI? No, I'm just kidding. Think I was a DEI? Think I was like, man, look, you stupid. You was a baller and black. They ain't tripping on your grades. Or you think, man, you really qualified. You are exactly what they were looking for. You're well accomplished. Look how smart you are. You're amazing, Marcellus. Somebody beat it up in the comments. Tell me what you think. Oh, man, that's crazy. All right.